Hey there, lonely girl. Hey there, lonely boy. Such a lonely boy. Bum, 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 bum. Not too good. Andrew Gold, he's dead. They're all dead, can I tell you? So many of our 70s um, superstars, not that Andrew Gold was necessarily a superstar, he had two big hits. The other was Thank You for Being a Friend. Yeah, that one. But Bowie, huh? Bowie was a superstar. You couldn't go into the club here in the city I live in the 70s without seeing a cover band that was doing lots of Bowie. Suffragette City. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, they knew at least a dozen Bowie songs. Richard Lyon, how are you? Welcome, Grand Patriarch. Downtown William Brown from Necrophiliac, Texas. No, that's not the way you say it. It's Nacogdoches, Texas, right? Aisha. Aisha wanted me to do a math problem, solve a math problem when it's 10 p.m. here in New York. Is it 2 p.m. there on a Friday afternoon in Australia? Well, you should know by now because we do 10 p.m. on Saturday these days and have been for a while. Shelley, now are you Shell from Canada or are you another Shelley? I know you're not Shelley Winters because, yes, she's dead. And so is Ernest Borgnine. He may have lived to 92 being chubby. Wasn't always chubby, though. But he dead. Yeah. So, Aisha, I just don't know. I know you're in the afternoon there because we've had people before. I haven't heard too many of my Australian people. So check in, will you? Um, Eggnog, well, I'll tell you what, Shelley, if you are the Shelley I think you are, but all of a sudden you went from Shell to Shelley, so it's confusing. Shelley, if you're from somewhere else other than Canada, if you are not the campaign president for President Trump, but in the country of Canada, soon to be our 51st state, I said it, 51st state, we don't want Trudeau as the governor, though. No, 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 no. That part I don't agree with. Let him go on and become like a movie star or something. He's got those kind of looks, you know. Let's get him out of government, out of the government and into the streets, out of the government and into the streets. I'm getting militant in my old age. Eggnog, well, this is what you got to do, Shelley. Now, do you have Turkey Hill eggnog there? Turkey Hill's my favorite. It used to be Crowley's, but they stopped making it. Anybody ever heard of Crowley's? What about Turkey Hill? Can you find that? I had a little more eggnog than I was anticipating this year because that Turkey Hill eggnog is so good. I buy it in the little pints. I did buy a half gallon when it first came out. And my goodness, it is such a pleasurable experience. It's like drinking one of those chai milks from the Kung Fu Tea place. Yeah, we got that place in the Campbell Plaza here. And all they have is these exotic drinks. You can have bubbles or no bubbles. Bubbles tend out to be like tapioca, only bigger in size. And why would I want half my drink or a quarter of my drink gone because I put bubbles in there? They're not pleasurable, you know. I don't mind the tapioca and the tapioca pudding. That's fine. But yeah, I recommend Turkey Hill eggnog while you can still get it. Check your dates. Don't get a bad one now. And don't put anything in it other than maybe nutmeg. If you want to throw booze into your eggnog, then you're not, in my estimation, you're not a real eggnog fan, you know. Because if you want to get drunk, do it on a frozen strawberry margarita. You know, I don't believe in drunkenness. I just believe in a little buzz. Like there's a scripture that says wine makes the spirit merry, not merry, not marry, but that could happen to you if you drink too much of it. Who are you? I'm your wife. Really? Oh, Oh. So I don't know, Aisha Acevedo, I just don't know. Um, William, how you doing, William? You doing all right? What's going on with you? Richard Lyon, are you off tomorrow or do you have to work? Why would I think you'd be off? You would have had to take in a personal day, right? It's not quite that time yet. Like the day after Christmas, you probably don't have to work, do you? Do you? Um, Hockey, I'm just going to call you Hockey. It's just easier that way. Good evening, Jack. Good to see you. Well, good to see you. Where are you from again, Hockey? And have you ever played hockey? Hockey and Thu. Auntie Roo. Well, who is here? Todd Bradshaw. Good evening, Jack. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you, Todd. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've been talking in the email a little bit. Gene Phillips is here. Hi, Jack and friends. I am tired. Been cooking Christmas cookies. So will your cookies be fresh on Christmas Day then? Now, is what you do you have these tins and you send them as gifts? You send them out as gifts or you drop them off as gifts? So what do you got? You got the cookie with the Hershey's Kiss in the center? Do you have your cookies that may be shaped like Frosty or something like that? I'm trying to think of all the Christmas cookies, which when I was doing the Italian Christmases with the Candidos, my mom and I, oh yes, and those fried rosette cookies that look like snowflakes. Oh dear, put the powdered sugar on there, and I tell you that is health food if there ever was any. Go on the snowflake cookie diet. So Nancy DeMarco is part of our family tonight. She's been part of our family for quite a while now. Somebody I don't even know has just hit the thanks button for $10. Hi, Jack. Merry Christmas from Nebraska, home of Johnny Carson. Have you ever seen any statues to Johnny anywhere, John? Um, how do I want to say this? Udison? $10. Thank you so much for hitting the thanks button. It is very much appreciated more than you know, especially when it's a new person, you know. I mean, I love the people that are regular hitters of said thanks button, but when it's somebody new that it really pleases me. Where do you live, John? What neck of the woods do you hang your chapeau in? Also, I better put on some glasses because already I can see that I'm straining. It's not arty, is it? Arky Hudgens. Ar- Arky Hudkins. Hello there, Jack. Hi, Artie. Where are you from? No, it's Arky. Arky. I think I'll put on it. I'm like Fred Sanford here with all the glasses. I know I've said that many times before. I think these help the best. Yes. Gene says, tonight I watched George C. Scott, A Christmas Carol. All right, now watch George C. Scott as Mussolini. And you'll you'll want to be slapping me for recommending that one. Yeah, I think I saw that. I did see that. Oh, yes, I saw Mr. Scott in that, in Patton, and that hardcore movie. His daughter goes into the adult film industry, and well, I'm not even going to say anymore because Mr. Scott did some edgy films, just like Robin Williams did. You know, he'd be doing these family-friendly movies, Robin. Then he would do something he knew wasn't going to be a big hit, but he didn't care. Another person who likes to do that, well, there's a number of them. Hugh Grant in Heretic. It's like It's $24 to buy it, 19.99 to rent it, and I'm dying to see it. It's about two Mormon missionaries coming to his house, and they will regret the day that they came in. Uh, they said, "Well, sir, we can't come in if there's not a woman present." He says, "Yes, my wife's home. She's making some pie. Do you like pie?" And they fall for it, and then they spend the whole movie trying to get out of Hugh Grant's house. So he was asked about that because he's brought in over $1 billion in sales for his movies. He's one of these guys that some people don't take seriously, but when you talk Notting Hill, when you talk like a movie like Notting Hill, everybody saw that. You weren't happy just to see Notting Hill once. You had to see it over and over again. I probably seen it a dozen times. Love that movie. But he says, I am drawn to the nasty. And sometimes I just can't resist. He turns down a lot of stuff. He turned down some big stuff. And he says he really doesn't have regrets for doing it. Uh, but anytime he can break out of that nervous Englishman comedic thing, he likes to do it. So I am an unabashed Hugh Grant fan, and I'm looking forward to seeing Heretic. So yeah, that's a good one, Gene Phillips. It is. It is. It is. Sandra Warren. Hello, Jack. Well, hey, hey, hey. How are you? Um, Hello, family. Yeah, that's what we are here. And consequently, I will be on Christmas Eve. I'll be on Christmas Day, popping on several times on both days. I mean, why not? I'm not going anywhere. It's Karen, me, and Andy. He doesn't even eat with us. So, it's there's no reason I'm not going to get to see my kids, on the holidays, and that's the way it always is. I'm looking for March, but if my daughter calls me, I'll go whenever she wants me to. I'll be down there. I'll be down there. It's a shorter trip, and that's good because it is a little frightening at my age when you see how they drive out there. But of course, most accidents happen close to home, don't they? Don't they, Shelley? I like how you highlighted John's name, Shelley. I didn't know you were that tech savvy. Please, Shelley, confirm you are Shell from Canada, right? I don't want to be saying you are if you're not. Ted's not here, says Aisha Acevedo. Hockey says, I used to drink Crowley's eggnog, right? Now, I don't know what your age is, Hockey, uh, but I guess I first noticed it around 1960, 1961, when we were living in Mechanicstown, New York, which is town of Walk-Hill, really. Mechanicstown is like, what would you call that when there's like two names? You live in the town of Walk-Hill, but they call it Mechanicstown in a certain section. And, oh, the milkman would come, drop it off around 4 in the morning, glass quarts of milk, and then you'd see the glass quart of uh, uh, eggnog. I was more excited than Hunter Biden was when he got pardoned. I'll tell you what. He knew that was coming. So yeah, wasn't that great? I mean, and Turkey Hill is like the closest thing. I'm not a big Hood fan. I'm not a big Hood fan. It's all right, but nah, no. And other brands have just stopped making their eggnog. They don't do it like they used to. This organic stuff, give me a break. Like we can really tell what the cow was eating. We can't. Um, so I'm happy to hear that you know about how Crowley's eggnog was, which I assume you would agree with me. That's special, but boy, that'll put on the pounds, and that Turkey Hill. Oh, so buy it in a little pint, for 2.49, and but buy two of them, and go through them pretty quick. You work tomorrow, Richard Lyon, because you are a hard working man. I know that about you. I know that about you. Um, will you take some time off next week besides the maybe Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? Our good friend Scott Baker's here. Live split screen with Pastor Joyce would be fun. Yeah, he said he would consider that on February 30th. So look for that. February 30th. He's pretty sure he is free that day and will come on and do a split screen with us. Can you please help me find a tech guy that could help with that split screen? No, we got to do a simple Zoom, right? Right. Yeah. Jerry Bridges is here. Is he Shelley? I don't know. Lynn R is here. Shelley's just letting me know. Oh, yeah. See, look at that. I go too fast. I miss people. What is Karen making Christmas? What I just bought today, Gene Phillips, a simple oven roaster with stuffing. Did we get the stuffing? Forgot the stuffing. Gotta have the stuffing. I bought the sweet potatoes, the Bob Evans sweet potatoes. I make the mashed potatoes. I peel them and everything. Karen hates to, won't. It's not a matter of hating. She won't peel a potato. Oh, keep the skins on. I say, when you go into a restaurant, do they hand you mashed potatoes with the skins in them? No. If you want the skins, get a nice baked potato. Get a nice baked potato. Lady likes humor. Well, then tell us a clean joke. Lady likes humor. Hello, Jack. Great evening. Well, I don't have a temperature reading right now, but I do know one thing. Saturday night when I do this show, folks, I may be wearing a winter jacket, winter hat, and gloves in this very cold studio. It's not cold tonight. It feels okay. It's 29 and mostly cloudy. It magically appeared. It's like it knew. Now, who's calling me? Potential spam. Can't even see that. Potential spam at this hour? That's very unusual. I have to check my messages because I don't get spam this late usually. Don't they know it comes up potential spam and you're not going to answer? Greg Hines, hello, Jack. Eating Texas meal, eating a Texas meal. Hamburger, fries with sweet tea. I like sweet tea. Gregory Hines. Yeah, I told you about the first time I had it at the Golden Corral, where the governor of Chicago spends most of his evenings. Um, yeah, I thought it was terrible. Oh, so sweet. When I have my hot cup of tea, I don't put any sugar in it. I just put what my mom did, cream. That means half and half. Or these days, I'm more likely to put 75%, 2% milk, and then top it off with a little cream. That's not true when I have the chai tea. Then I do want it sweet, whether it be hot or cold, and put a little Splendor in there, and then I pour some cinnamon on top of it when I have the chai. That's my little treat, and I figure it's since I'm using 2% milk mostly, that's not too many calories. But well, Texas meal would be brisket, right? And banana pudding, and have you been to Opie's, Greg? Have you been to Opie's? That's where my son took me. This is when I was out there for my daughter's wedding. Yes, I actually went to my daughter's wedding and danced with her and everything. I have pictures to prove it. And that was in Dripping Springs, Texas. Dripping Springs, Texas. It was like March, so it wasn't that warm, but we got through it and had a good time. But these barbecue places, you go in there for two, and before you know it, you're up to 75, $80. Get the brisket, and you get the some veggies, and um, I guess potatoes, mashed potatoes. I don't know, but loved Opie's, and then we went to several other places. I'm trying to think of that other barbecue place that's popular in Texas. Begins with an R. Begins with an R. Do you know what I speak of, Greg? Do you like banana pudding? Because they got a lot of it in Texas. How are you, Lynn Redgrave? Lynn R. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? You've probably told me where you were before, but I don't know. I can't pull it out of my medulla or my cerebellum. High Speed Drifter. I like the Second Road Warrior move. Or is that a movie? The one with the motorcycle gang. I know it's not a great movie, but it's a guilty pleasure and super entertaining. So, what do you like about it? High Speed Drifter, and who's in it? Yes, Shelley. Well, you finally went back to being Shelley after being a mere shell of yourself. So now you're back to Shelley from Canada. And I bet you when we have cold weather Saturday night and Sunday night, we could be in the single digits. It's going to happen even worse for you. um, Chat group not here. Well, I'm certainly reading the chat group. Scott Baker, live split screen with Pastor Bob would be fun for him to sing a few tunes with you, Jack. Yes, I bet you that's like probably on his bucket list. That's on his bucket list. So I hope he's serious about coming on February 30th. I really am. I don't want to be disappointed. Jerry Bridges, not Todd Bridges, not Lloyd Bridges, the Sea Hunter, also star of both airplane movies, and not Jeff Bridges, the very famous movie star, or his not quite as famous brother Beau Bridges, who's in some weird stuff out there and some good stuff. It's got a current movie if you find it right on Tubi, and it's free. Beau Bridges, and he still looks good. 82 years old and he looks good. Imagine looking good in your 80s. Is that possible, Marty Greco? Well, welcome, Marty Greco. Hey, Jack and everyone. My science, my what? I don't know how to pronounce that word. Something is out. It's on the fritz, so I will be here just for a bit. Sacroiliac? No. Um, I will hear just for a bit. I'm hurting pretty good. Oh dear. What would help? A little Voltaren cream, maybe? Voltaren. Whoa. Voltaren. They ought to use that song in their commercials. Change Volare to Voltaren. But in the name of Jesus, we'll be good. Amen. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Marty. And it's not that you are a big guy. You don't have to be, though, to have pain, do you? No, no, no. Okay, we have 79 watching and 30 likes. Um, so once again, I do want to thank our new viewer, John Udison, for the $10. Hijack Merry Christmas from Nebraska. Tell me what life is like in Nebraska. Jack, it is Christmas? Really? Already? Uh-oh, I'm not prepared then. Here's Vito. Congratulations to Vito Yazzo. Hereby Vito. Where's my picture? See, I'm not prepared for you, Vito. I have the picture. It's not that far away. But now I don't know. Vito has gone to 1,000 subscribers, which means he can go live now and start to monetize his videos. The problem is that um, he uses songs that are not his own. What I find out happens quite a bit is YouTube checks the status of whether you can use the song, and it comes back, yes, but the revenues would have to be shared. Once in a while, it's yes, but you will make no money on this video, that kind of thing. So, for example, I just used the Lord's Prayer. Well, who was the Lord's Prayer written by? Lyrics by the Holy Spirit, and I don't think he needs to have a cut. We should give him a cut because of the tithe, though. But whoever wrote the music to the Lord's Prayer shared revenues. That's how that works. The person who owns the song makes the call as to whether it's free or not. That's just the way it is. Whether you can use it or you can't. So I hope you have watched our video, Pastor Bob Joyce singing the Lord's Prayer. I hope you have. But congratulations, Vito. Go to Vito Yazzo, Yozzo, Yozzo. Saw Vito today, hair by Vito. I'm looking vastly less shaggy than the last time you saw me, which was about 2 o'clock this morning when I did those videos. And next time you see me, I'll look different from this. By Saturday night, I might look like I put a little paint in my hair. I don't know. Because I don't look like that anymore, Vito. See, when when I used to get my perms in the 80s, that was my wedding day, 1985, my first wedding day. And I used to get perms with Vinny and Alice down on West Main Street, not far from where the mayor's restaurant is, that you have definitely been to, Vito Yazzo, Yozzo. Check out Vito's songs. Here we have the Trump team, part of the Trump team, right there, Team Trump. Pastor Bob Joyce. And I have so many pictures at this point. I misplaced where I put them. Here we are, Vito. Here we are. There's Vito and I at the salon where I was today. Classy Cuts Salon on Dawson Avenue in the town of Walk Hill. No, it's still Middletown, which is why Smoker's Choice left, because they wouldn't let them sell pot. No. So they had to, just about a half mile down the road or a quarter mile down the road, you can sell pot. But Mayor DeStefano decided not to let businesses sell it, even though it's legal in New York. Just you know, seems like a lot of nonsense and not very thoughtful of the businessmen. Now, with that said, legalizing marijuana comes with a lot of negative realities and consequences. I mean, everywhere I go, I'm smelling pot all over your Campbell Plaza there, Vito. So I just told Vito, put it out, Vito. It's going to get in my hair as you're cutting my hair. Put that thing out. Um, you know, people were driving stoned and stuff. I don't know how many times we hear our fire scanner go off. MVA, Dawson Avenue, MVA, and the traffic circle. You put a traffic circle in, and that is like saying, here you go. We are giving you a traffic circle, so the MVAs will increase by 30%. So many times, people trying to beat each other in the traffic circle. You can't put up a yield sign when it should be a stop sign. Ay, ay, ay. So, Vito Yazzo, Yozzo, check out all his videos. He sings a lot of Elvis songs and he sings other songs. And so it's time for you to get some original songs to sing too, Vito. Yeah, that'll help you. Rick Robertson. Rick is here. Hi, Rick. Glad you are. Jerry Bridges. I don't know if you know him, but he's from Tennessee, just like my buddy. Um, where is he now? I can't. I'm losing. Oh, there's Bill Presley. I missed Bill Presley. Hi, Bill Presley. I'm sorry that I missed you. Arky is from Tennessee as well as Todd Bradshaw is there. Good evening, Jack. Todd Bradshaw, not Terry Bradshaw. All you guys are from Tennessee. All right, Richard. I know you got to go to sleep. You work hard for the money. You work hard for the money. See you Saturday night. Sounds good. Yes, tomorrow there are. Tomorrow, giving them out to our Romanian staff, your holiday cookies, huh? In my building. Nothing fancy. Well, I'm sure they're delicious. Nice hair, says Vito. Well, thank you. Yes, my my hairstylist, he may be a little drunk when he does it, but he still does a good job. Very, very nice. Classy Cuts, that's the place to go if you're in the Orange County, New York area. John says, I actually live in Norfolk, Nebraska. So you have to be careful with these kind of towns because you can curse while pronouncing them, like the Norfolk Railroad. Yeah. Is that defunct now? So many railroads are. And of course, Amtrak is still thriving. Not too many derailments lately, right? Oh, it's the hometown of Mr. Carson. I see. I didn't know that Norfolk was. So do they have a statue? If I go to Jamestown, New York, John, they've got a beautiful statue of Lucille Ball there. Doesn't look a thing like her. Excuse me. But they do in Jamestown, New York. I've seen it. Um, love Johnny Carson. I saw him back in the day when I lived in Hollywood for a year. I saw him twice. Interestingly, one of those shows were with Tom Snyder, and everybody had commented, well, not so much then, but later on, you would hear that Johnny really didn't like Tom Snyder. I was a huge Tom Snyder fan. I thought the combination of Johnny Carson and then Tom Snyder coming on with the Tomorrow Show was really, really good. Really, really good. I thought he had a lot of talent, Tom Snyder, but Johnny didn't necessarily think so. Hey, Brother Jack, Joey Bauer Jr., welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you here. Miles Wright, welcome. And Sam Sammy, where's Sam Sammy checking in? I see you mentioning him. I used to drink Crowley's eggnog. I'm back on that. So, what's going on with you, Miles Wright? Not Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. D. Lyall, good evening to all. Welcome, welcome. D. Lyall still has the best possibility of 2024. Could Bob Joyce be the love child that Vernon had around the time that Elvis was in the army with another woman, perhaps before or after Gladys died? I thought that was an interesting possibility, thinking outside the box. And you're in Tennessee, Jerry. So we got quite a few Tennesseans here as well. I have watched a bunch of the Christmas Carol movies just to compare them. Even the one with Henry Winkler, huh? Yeah, is this the Hallmark Channel you're talking about? Nonstop Christmas movies? The boys next door that have been together for like 45 years? I don't know. They're both retired now. They're both in their 70s now. They're both in their 70s. And they like to watch those Hallmark movies, or at least one of them does. They filmed one in Goshen, New York a few years ago. I always wanted to see it and never did. Now I wish I could watch it. We saw what they were doing in downtown Goshen. They were changing names and stuff like that for the movie filming that was about to happen. So what is Karen making? She will make some pumpkin pie. She will roast the chicken, and I don't know. I don't know what else could be added to the mix. She likes to do those green beans, but to me, those Green Giant type green beans taste plastic to me. They're not as good as the ones in the Chinese restaurant, Let's see here. You like the second Road Warrior movie. Yeah, okay. Do you ride a motorcycle, high speed drifter? With a name like that, I hope you don't. I hope you don't. Every year, every summer into the fall, starting in the spring, the motorcycle deaths start. Yes, not the motorcycle debts, but the motorcycle deaths start. And there were some horrendous ones this year. Horrendous ones. It doesn't matter how long you've been riding, how good you are. That 18-year-old coming up behind you, look out. Sometimes it seems like it's intentional. That happened in Las Vegas. A recently retired police chief was deliberately killed by a bunch of punks, and they thought they were going to get away with it. Oh well, they weren't even 21. They said, well, the worst that could happen is we're in jail for till we're 21, right? They said, no, we're going to charge you as an adult. Never found out what happened with that Las Vegas case. Hey, Jack and everyone. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Well, I hope you feel much better, Marty Greco. We will remember you in prayer tonight. Evening, Jody Smith. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pam Donley. We spoke earlier in the comments section. Hello, Jack, Miss Pam. Non-stick surface for Pam Donley. Absolutely. 2 cameras to film the movie, you mean? Yeah, there are movies shot like that, and they don't usually look too bad. Um, if you only have one, then it's a challenge. But there have been movies shot that way. Remember that movie that was shot when these teenagers are out in the woods and they're being hunted down and they don't know by who? It was supposed to be like a pretend documentary. Know the difference between uh, a mockumentary like Elvis Found Alive is a mockumentary that is not Elvis sitting in this suburban house with the Cadillac parked out front. That from Highway 61 is not the real deal. It's not the real deal. Elvis would not be living in suburbia. The guy who played him, and by the way, they had a whole bunch of facts wrong in that movie. Had a whole bunch of facts wrong, but it's the same guy who I wish I could call his name right now, who did the movie that you can see on Tubi. Paul McCartney is not really dead. And of course, he also did a movie about Dylan because that is one of Dylan's most popular albums, Highway 61 Revisited. That's the name of this guy's headquarters out in the West Coast, I think. Highway 61 Revisited. Hello, Claudette. Good evening, Jack and everyone. Hockey. Now we've got 92 writ in there. Jack, you ask about my age and location. I'm older than you are, and I now live in Arizona. Wish I could remember the rest of the lyrics from Mark Lindsay. I I played that song on the radio in the past a few times. But the best stuff from Mark Lindsay came with Paul Revere and the Raiders. Um, he was the lead singer, not Paul Revere. It was Mark Lindsay singing those great songs like Kicks Just Keep Getting Harder to Find or Cherokee Nation, Cherokee Tribe. Something about dying and pride, I think. Well, that's okay. Um, that you're older. Let's hope that you have many more years to come. Bill Presley finally got in on a live. I have been catching replays. Well, I'm glad you're here. Bill Presley with 2 S's. Susan Safiati's here. Hello, Susan Safiati. Jody Smith is here. Yeah, people saying hello to Vito. That's good. Saturday and Sunday around 7 degrees, huh? Yeah. You're in Boston, right? Boston. Yeah, it's going to be a few days now by Christmas here in the Hudson Valley of New York. It's supposed to be around 42 degrees. So that'll be good. I'm not looking for a white Christmas, It does not thrill me like it might have at one time. Did you say Bob Joyce may come on your podcast? I think they're funning with me and I'm funning with you. And of course, Susan Safiati, there's no such date as February 30th. Um, I have not heard from the pastor. I hear from people that feel that they have to speak for him. Rita, lovely Rita Maid. Hi, Jack. I know. I know. P.S. He calls me all day. Who is P.S.? Is anyone here a good singer? Vito Yazzo. There it is. So you still here, Vito? Check his channel out, Vito Yozzo. Got a ton of videos. He performs live sometimes. Lynn is talking about candy. C's candy. 1 pound box is $30. Well, what kind of candy is that, Lynn Redgrave? Thank God Trump won, says Susan Safiati. I'll give you an amen on that. Not everybody will, though, and I appreciate that. That's why when we do 3 minutes of politics, we do it well into the broadcast because most people are here, just boys and girls just want to have fun. Yeah, I know what you mean. You can deny a call. Your sleep doctor, huh? You're taking a sleep study, and now this guy, I mean, what are the chances of him saying, no, you don't need CPAP? When do they ever say that? You know? And you got to be careful. You got to keep that thing clean. One of the people here said that their airflow was too high. They felt like they were choking. I just talked to a woman when I went over to get my honey, my Maybrook honey. See my old friend Bob. Um, his wife said she just decided to go on a weight loss drug and lose the weight, and that's the deal. My own cardiologist said if I would just lose 20-25 pounds, it would greatly help the sleep apnea. But it's not easy, and that's what Bob Reynolds' wife said. She went on Ozempic, and now it's what is it? Wacovi or something like that. Um, we know someone who isn't covered by it. In other words, the prescription plan wasn't going to pay for it, but she wanted to lose weight, and she pays out of pocket for it, and it's like $1,000 plus a month. $1,000 plus a month, just like my Camzyos would be even more than that if I wasn't in the program and have good New York City retirement health insurance. So they always tell you to go on there. And I don't think with the defibrillators that's in my chest because I have cardiomyopathy, I don't think I can get something else implanted. But then again, my cardiologist seems to think I could. So I don't know how much he knows about the Inspire thing. I don't know. Felice Cooper. Hi, Jack. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Been busy writing movie scores, really. And my husband had two very bad heart issues. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think Elvis turning 90 is alive. I think Elvis turning 90, that he's alive, and we'll know that when Trump is in. I think that's what you're saying. I think he's going to be at the inauguration. We have a video on that. Will Pastor Bob Joyce be at the inauguration January 20th? My prediction, for what it's worth, is yes. Yes, he will. And it's all, you can all say it's on the coattails of Gene Ho. You can assume that, whether it is true or it isn't. You know, we read Miss Wallina's letter. People call her Miss Wallina in the church. That's why I refer to her that way. Why didn't you say Mrs.? You know who you are. We've talked about all kinds of things here, and I don't want to, go down that road. But Miss Wallina is, I think, a name that they refer to her at the church. Doesn't doesn't mean she's not married to Pastor Bob Joyce. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, don't forget to check out Vito's music. You'll love it. Does a lot of great covers. I know he's here. I know. I saw him just hours ago. Hours ago. Karen was with me too. I was talking to Karen. And that's from a much warmer time than it is now. And by the weekend, forget about it. Forget about it. Oh, here's Steven Spielich. Hey, Jack, have you ever thought of doing your show in vertical? You talked about that. Many YouTubers are having huge increases in views, also more subscriptions too. Well, content is very important. Um, you are talking often about people that use their cell phone. They're using cell phone. If you see the shorts videos that I have, they're vertical, and it's really what are you putting into that camera? Now some of people would just take other people's work and put their name on it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'll use an excerpt. I'll use an excerpt, but I think I explained and I think I answered you. And a lot of my success has to do whether it be Bob Joyce or not Bob Joyce. And frankly, also, if I had better tech skills and I didn't have to wait on Andy and what have you, I'm creative enough to do videos that could get, 748,000 views or whatever, 7,000 and or 78,000 or even a quarter of a million. But having limited tech skills really hurts me. So these short videos that have to be under a minute, I don't know how much money they really make, but you got to get a lot of views in a short video on YouTube to make money on it. 500 views isn't gonna give you anything. Even 2,000 isn't going to give you in a short. So I'm the storyteller. You know who I am, Stephen. I'm the storyteller here. I'm not I can't be somebody that I'm not. Um but I would like to get out there and do some more remote broadcasting from various locations. And that would be vertical. But I think people like a full screen. I think when you're on for 2 hours, none of these people you're talking about come on for 2 hours and do a live show. They don't. They're in and out, most of them, and some of it's good work. Sure, some of it's good work, um, but content is important. I didn't become as successful as I am with, well, now 9,500 subscribers. Thank you so much. And I don't know, maybe 500,000 views if you added them all up. I didn't um, have that kind of success and, you know, do fairly well by just doing vertical. I did it because people responded to what I was putting out and because they like me. You know, there are people that have great tech skills, but they get in front of a camera and it's not very good. They don't have 40 years plus of broadcast experience. They don't think about the background that they're in. They could even be in, dare I say, the pitch dark doing a video. That sounds like I'm taking a shot, but I'm just using an example. Um, I had to think about the one person who's always talking, and then he goes like this a lot. I thought, what the hell is he doing? And then it occurred to me, well, this is a serviceman, and we should thank him for his service. And that's probably how it was for him. He probably saw combat. So you're always looking behind you and stuff like that. But isn't it amazing that someone that can get so many views doing one thing, and then there's this misconception that if something you did before wasn't very successful, and you find the golden ticket, which is Pastor Bob Joyce, and you go with that full steam ahead to the point that you're burning it out, that isn't going to make your other stuff successful. They don't give a damn about that, and the gentleman is very good at it, by the way, from what I can see. So it does matter when you do a live show that you put some thought into it, and that you actually maybe write some notes in front of you and do it where you can see those notes, and you have a cohesiveness. You can't. I mean, I can wing it. I've been winging it since I got on the mic today, but there comes a time when you really have to prepare. Tonight is kind of a loose night where I'm not doing a lot of content, although I'm going to check some emails and get reactions to our various videos soon. But this is kind of just hanging out with a family kind of thing. And so everybody thinks they can be a radio broadcaster, a disc jockey, which is, now on the way out, or a talk man. You think it was easy what Rush Limbaugh did? Try and do it. Try to hold an audience of 25 million with no callers, uh, no guest in the studio, and hold an audience of 25 million. Oh yes, eventually he's going to take calls from viewers, but he can do an opening rap, a rap that lasts almost the entire hour of the first hour of the show, and hold that audience. That's a special gift. That's a level of talent higher than I have, but I've got what I've got, and try to make the best of it. So that was a long answer, wasn't it, Steven Spielich? And welcome to you, Steven Spielich. Glad you are here. Um, you're talking about a lot of the short attention span people. I'm not for the short attention span people that, oh, I just want to see what you've got about Bob Joyce. Give me my fix of heroin, then I'm off. Could you please do that? Now, when I do a pre-recorded video, I get right to content. I try to do that when I've got something big here, but tonight it's just kind of a folksy chat with you guys. And people talk to each other. Sam Semi, thank you, Sam Semi, 6.99 on the thanks button. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, this is the month. Um, not that far coming up from my yearly visit to the tax lady, where I'm going to have to pay taxes on tips, both on the Cash App and here. Um, Normally I would have prepared better for that. But this, what we're doing here now is something that I would see January 21st, something like that. However, for those who use the Cash App, that's instantaneous. It'll be available to me tomorrow, unless I want to wait a few days. If I don't take it right away, I'll lose like 35 cents or something. Depends on the amount that's given. If somebody makes a bigger donation on Cash App, that would be different, and I would probably wait a couple of days. But on Cash App, my handle is lowercase letters Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56, Media Guy 56. 56 was the year I was born. So thank you, Sammy, for hitting the thanks button. I appreciate that so much. And now you're highlighted talking to Shelly and Cindy in South Louisiana. Um, can I send a Christmas card? Wink, wink. Wink Martindale? He's still alive. Still kind of looks like himself. Maybe a Botox version, but he still kind of looks like himself. He was. We didn't talk too much about this, but um, he was impacted by the death of his good friend, Chuck Woolery. What a fun man he was. Really great guy. The last thing Chuck Woolery did was on Fox Nation with some of the Fox celebrities who would dress up like they did dress up in the 80s. Yeah, that's a fun thing. If you get Fox Nation, check that out. I guess it's the last thing that Chuck Woolery ever did. He was about 83 years old. He was an incredible game show host, incredible, and did other things as well. Um, yeah, I don't have a post office box because it would not work out for me. I'd be spending more to have the box. Back in the day, I had one, Back in the day, I had a post office box. I'm just reading your comments here. I prefer snail gifting. Yes. Well, there will always be those people that say, if I can't send it physically to you, you know, um, these days you never know. It's not that hard to get people's information, but I don't give out my personal address and phone numbers. I really got to feel. You got to feel in the pit of your stomach that it's the right thing to do. That it's the right thing to do. Sometimes you have to know somebody for a little while before you do it. There's that time of getting to know somebody. So only a few people have my phone number. I don't pick up calls anyway that I don't know who it is, like potential spam. But a few people like Richard Lyon have my phone number. They do. Um, and by the way, Karen doesn't want me to be constantly looking at my device or in other words, my cell phone or what have you. When I'm with her and we're watching something, she likes me to be here now, be in the moment now. Do that some other time. What are you talking about, Neo? What would you consider doing? What is that? I don't even know. Good night, everyone. Gotta lay down. Yeah, hope you feel better, Marty Greco. I really do. See what your options are. I don't know whether acupuncture would help you. I don't know whether um, um, marijuana gummies would help you. I don't know. You got to be careful, although you can't be driving once you take those marijuana gummies. And I don't know if it's legal where you are. Jeanette Berglund. Hi, Jack. Is Bob Joyce writing a book that will be released after his death? A lot of people have said that to me, Jeanette, but no one's ever confirmed it. And he can't be writing this book forever. I mean, I've been hearing he's writing a book now for years. So the book would probably have to be done, except that there's more to add to it. You don't have the final chapter yet because there's more to tell. But in terms of the basic bulk of the book, I would think it would be already written. And I've commented before that I think that's not the way to go. That you should do it ahead of time. But they've bought these 9 acres of land, 10 minutes from where the church is in Benton, Arkansas, right now. They've bought these 9 acres of land. Miss Walina talks about it in her Christmas letter. Got to talk about that a little bit. Um, and I think that land needs to be fully developed first. First, you want to have the horse stable, which they're working on now. Beautiful horse stable. They're working on that, including Pastor Bob. He does have carpentry skills. Someone said he was a carpenter before he was a pastor. Uh, I don't know what to say to that, but he had a major role in renovating the current place they are at now, and probably did some stuff when they were in the strip mall. So I just think it would be a mistake to wait that long. It would be a mistake to wait till you're um, dead. you know, we don't want to see him dead. We want to see him have many more years. So once everything is secure, I think what we need here is okay. First, the horse stable, but then we need a fellowship hall, maybe a prefab one at first, which is right next to the horse stable. If you try to combine it, then there go your extra seats. That's going to take too many seats. You could be creative and have like an open fellowship hall where, you know, multi seating. It turns into a fellowship hall once the service is over. And so you could do that. But then there's talk of a 500 plus seat sanctuary, maybe more. Um, uh, and Pastor Bob said they weren't going to build junk for God. For God, it was really going to be nice. And then I think on this 9 acres of land, you got to have a house with a separate fence around that. People can't just waltz over there. It's got to be separate. So you have the ultimate security with a security force, 24/7, and it's got to be done. Now, Miss Walina said that the funding for this 9 acres of land comes from um, CD sales, okay, um, tithe and offerings, tithing. Well, most people tell me they don't even take an offering there, and also that the pastor doesn't take a salary. Um, but people can give. There's a box that you can put your money in, and I can just see that the visitors would come to the church and they would be motivated to give a large. Those that can afford it would be motivated to put a large sum in the offering, and that's always good because the Bible talks about giving our first fruits to Christ and trusting Him for the return. He says it'll open up a window so big that we won't be able to contain it when we put God first. And that certainly includes trusting Him with our money. So I could also see when the pastors in Mar-a-Lago that people come up and say, what are your needs, Pastor? And somebody of well means might give him a very nice tithe, if you want to say use that language. Very nice tithe as he talks about his vision to build a wonderful church outside of Benton, Arkansas. Very close, but outside of Benton, Arkansas. So I just think that once everything is in place properly, um, you might want to say more than you're saying now, but we speak of possibilities. We could be wrong about everything. Even if we are, this is an amazing story. This is an amazing story. And I've stated the reasons for why it would be so many times. So, Sammy loves Graceland. I've been to Graceland twice, says Cindy in South Louisiana. I have never been. Uh, Sydney Ann Fuchel, Jack, a very handsome haircut. God, it looks like I have hardly any hair left now. I mean, but this fading look will not last. I can assure you that. Uh, I went and got me some improvement just today. But thank you. Yeah, Vito did a good job. You know, I sometimes let it get too long. I want to see Graceland in person. Who owns Graceland? Riley Keough, right? Riley Keough, the granddaughter, does. I believe. Let's see here. Remember to keep Marty in prayer. So I have heard that many times, Jeanette. That's all I can say, that he is writing a book. And of course, the book wouldn't be finished because his life isn't finished, and let's hope it isn't for a long time. Um, and the problem is, if you build a sanctuary of 1,000 seats and the Lord calls the pastor home, who are you going to get now to fill those seats? Don't say Matt. He's not going to fill 1,000 seats. He's not. I used to say Mike Huckabee, but Trump picked him as the ambassador to Israel. He's going to be over in Israel half of the time or more now. So scratch that name off the list. Mike Huckabee, former governor, is a former pastor as well, and he would be a perfect choice if it weren't for that. Christopher, hi, 51 state Canada, help us. Yeah, I know, right? I don't think that's going to happen, but to give all this money to Canada, give me a break, We can't keep doing this when we are over $35 trillion in debt. Smart to stay safe. I have local routes near you. I can. So we can just meet at the Colonial Diner then, Susan Saffiati. We'll see Carmen the waitress, the best in the world, and we'll have a meal together, or we'll go someplace for New York pizza. Huh? Cindy went to Bob's Choice. Pastor Bob Choice's church twice. I can say that, Bob, 1974. How are you? What year were you born, Bob? Hey, Jack. Sammy wants to go to the church. I think I'm going to wait to the horse barn, to be thrown out of the horse barn instead of being thrown out of the one they're in now. I would consider getting a P.O. box myself, at least if my channel grows. Well, right now, I don't have to be a math whiz to know that if you add up 12 months of paying for a P.O. box, I would be desperately in the red because people, only a small segment of people want to use it. Only a small segment. Back in the day, if you want to go back to R.G. Stair, the last day prophet of God, from Walterboro, South Carolina, he was bringing in $1 million or $2 million a year via the P.O. box. Yeah, that was the prime way. He'd give his address constantly. Carmen Sylvia is here. Hi from New Zealand, Carmen Sylvia. She has a channel. Check her songs out here, right here on YouTube, Carmen Sylvia. Hearts Wild. Hey, Hearts Wild. How are you? Good to have you aboard. Jeanette says, will he then tell us if he was Elvis or not? Exciting. I think that would be the purpose of the book, would be to give a definitive yes or no. His denials in the past, like in the strip mall church, were somewhat veiled, and he could have been a lot more specific. But he didn't want to. And for more than one reason, I think, for more than one reason. People would have stopped visiting from all over the world to go to the church. Let me just check now. I've got when I go to other windows, I can't see your comments for a little bit, but I'll get back to them and try and catch up. Let's go to email. I knew it. I felt it in my bones. Look at that, Nancy DeMarco. Just hit the Cash App, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56 from Fancy Nancy. Yes, are you going to be all fancy for the holidays, Nancy? Will you prancy after that second cup of eggnog that you spiked? So thank you so much. I don't know. If I should, if I should always mention the since there's something private about Cash App, some people may not want me to say how much they, sent in. So and I have not really thought that through. Right behind, Nancy DeMarco is my buddy Todd Bradshaw, um, hitting the Cash App for the Midnight Donut Fund. Yeah, that's what I need, Todd. I need the Midnight Donut Fund. So, let me know in an email, you guys, if you want me to mention the amount because, it occurred to me that some people would rather I don't do that. That's why they do it on Cash App. But when you hit Cash App, I get more of it than if you hit the thanks button. And when I say that, I always remember to thank YouTube for having that thanks button there. You know, they take a portion, but on Cash App, if I wait a few days, I can get the whole amount. And if I don't wait a few days, they don't take much even then. It's under 50 cents sometimes, you know. So thank you, Fancy Nancy DeMarco. I appreciate that. And Todd, thank you so very, very much. Really appreciate that. Todd is the number one giver right now in terms of overall, but there are people, that have hit it so many times. Sammy and Jody Smith and Aisha, et cetera, et cetera. And when I start mentioning names, I'm leaving out somebody really important, and I don't mean to do that. Let's see here. Someone talking about our video, The Lord's Prayer. Diana, magnificent. Pastor Bob singing the Lord's Prayer did me in, but I was already weepy today. Jack, that time of year and a couple of hiccups here. I missed you and not sure I'll ever catch up on all the programs. So we do have over 430 videos up. So I understand. Does that include the live shows? I guess it does. I missed so much going on. I can't keep up. That's okay. I'm happy for whenever you can join us, Diane. How are you doing? And are you ready for Christmas? Not really. I'm kind of a last minute kind of person. Jack, I'm still waiting for a debit card to use for Cash App. I see. Yes. Well, I appreciate what people can do, and I appreciate that there are those that can't do it. And um, I understand that. How did I turn the volume down? Oh, when I went to cough, right? Yeah. See, when I don't see the chat when I'm so everything I just said, nobody heard. I was going to the email. Usually I just turn the volume down quick and bring it right up. It's like I was used to that in all those years in radio. So sorry about that. Turn down the volume on my control board. I have this nice control board, and the only thing I use it for is the volume control. When I play music, I go right to Spotify, but of course, I can't do that in a live show. I can't do that. So the reason I didn't see all those can't hear yous is because when I go to another, and I did mention this, when I go to say like email, I can't see that screen. I know there's a way around it. Laura Shadley, no sound. Susan Safiati. Why are you talking about a $2,000 donation? Aisha Acevedo. So sorry about that. I don't usually do that. $10. Thank you on the thanks button. $10 on the thanks button. I appreciate that very much. Katina Swatsworth, Team SWAT. I like your haircut too, Jack. No, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I figured it was time. Karen had hers done at Classy Cuts. One of these days, I'm going to mispronounce that second word. Classy Cuts. I had that done last week at the very same time, 2:00 on Thursday. Then we go over and do our laundry at Mr. Washy Washy. We can't afford a washer and dryer, and it's better for the water bill that we don't. We had one, and they both eventually died, and so now that's what we do. We go see Mr. Washy Washy. Marlene Wilson is here. Welcome, Marlene Wilson. I heard about the new haircut, but I haven't seen a close-up pic. It's short, right? He should leave well enough alone. Don't mess with your signature look. Tanya Sears is here. Saying good night to Sammy, really? Good night, Jack and Peeps. Glad you stopped by, Tanya. I hope the book comes out in 2025, if there is one. I agree with you, Katina. You don't want to wait on that. How are you doing, Christopher? Love Pastor Bob Joyce. I think there's a lot of people here that would agree with you. And Claudette, our postal services have been on strike, huh? Where are you again? They're just back to work this past week. It's been terrible. Christmas cards not able to be sent, etc. Well, yeah, it's usually older people that send Christmas cards physically. The rest just do it the email, the e-card way, right? But in the past, when Karen cut down on sending Christmas cards, the ones that she would get went way down. And if she did send them out late, which she has a habit of doing, sometime between the day after Christmas and New Year's Eve, she gets a card from those people. So she's forced them to mail them a card, that they weren't planning on mailing. Sam Sammy says, yes, he will reveal. So we'll see. I don't think, I think he likes what he does, Jeanette, and I don't think he's eager to blow things up, especially when he has that little church as opposed to one that he needs. Now, he could always go to the Horner Hall Theater, But, that is a drive from where the church is right now, and Hot Springs is where the Horner Hall Theater. Miss Willina said in her Christmas letter that they drew 800 people. They drew 800 people. I think it was a little more than that, but 110 baptisms. Thank you so much, Aisha, for hitting the thanks button for $10. Frequent giver, I appreciate, Jack. Jody Smith says, Jack, the coincidence point to much towards him being who we think he is than not. And I firmly believe Priscilla and Riley know much more than they're willing to say. Oh, of course, yeah, that they would definitely have to. They would definitely have to. Um, Real says, Jody Smith, I totally agree. I'll buy his book, says Carmen Sylvia from New Zealand. I think we all would, right? Nancy is fancy, but tired. Yeah, huh? Sometimes, the best sleep I get sometimes seems to be in that recliner downstairs. Maybe I actually get deep sleep there and I'm not getting it so much. Supposed to go see the pulmonologist on January 10th. Not looking forward to any of that. I'm not looking forward to the idea in the in the cold winter, no less, trying to in this strange place fall asleep, and then they're going to definitely tell me you need the CPAP. They tell everybody that, and but they're trying to check how much airflow, whether it's a full mask, forget that, or not a full mask. And I just hear, I hear so many negative stories about it. I hear so many negative stories about it. Priscilla has slipped up more than once. That's true. She was speaking about Elvis in present tense at the Golden Globes last year. Really? Thank you, Katina. Thank you so much for dropping by. I do it because you get more. Yes, I do get more on the Cash App, Nancy. That is very true. Media Guy 56, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. But thank you, Todd Bradshaw. Thank you, Nancy DeMarco. Um, if you don't want me to mention how much you give on the Cash App, let me know so I don't make that mistake. Like sometimes I read the wrong name. Um, Somebody may use a name in Cash App, their real name or whatever, and they have a different name here. I have to be careful. I appreciate you, Todd Bradshaw. I thank you very, very much. Um, every month is a struggle to get to a certain level that will just kind of cover what I have to deal with and giving part of my pension to my first wife. It's just she's entitled to it. I love her, and she was a good mother. Nobody's perfect. No father is perfect, that's for sure. Good night, everyone, says Katina. Have a Merry Christmas. Remember the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. Enjoy the time with your loved ones as well. Yes. Claudette is in Ontario. Windsor, Ontario? I sang very well. I don't know about that. Chi-Chi. Good afternoon, Jack. Are you in Australia or Britain? Where are you? I forget, Chi-Chi. I forget. And then here comes all the messages that I had turned the mic off when I went to cough. And I would have normally seen it much faster if I had then not immediately gone to email. So let me go back to what you didn't hear, okay? I can't see you right now, by the way. But I did say that, um, where is it now? Bill Presley actually emailed me no sound. Good thinking, Bill Presley. Um, Same thing for Cindy. She did that. Nancy DeMarco hit the Cash App for 555, and Todd Bradshaw hit the Cash App for $25 for the Midnight Donut Money Fund. Oh yeah, back when I did overnights, I might have had a few donuts time and time at the castle down the street, playing the oldies for an audience of probably 150, 200 people. You know, how many people were listening at that time? But radio was hot. So you did have an audience. A lot of it was people working, loading shelves and things like that. Because, I mean, we weren't on the internet. We just had a reach that, went out Orange County, Sullivan County, and places like that. The internet didn't come along until the 80s, and I don't know what year we started to broadcast the signal on the internet. Not all radio stations do. By now, though, most of them do. So thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Todd. We talked about Diane Coleman telling us about the Lord's Prayer. That was very nice. We spoke about George Magazine promoting their brand new issue, number 27, speaking about the Trump presidency, the ins and the outs. Interview with Kenzie Morrison, his father Tommy's legacy, and also Sly Stallone, Rocky 5, Rocky in the nursing home. Very, very cool. All right. Todd says we used to go to the local donut shop around midnight. Oh, yes, I know that trick. Dunkin' Donuts, we used to do that at when I was an all-night peace officer. If you hit it just right, the donuts were so fresh and warm as well. They had hot donuts. We called it a midnight donut run. Good times. Yes, I do remember. I do remember that. Just like if you go into the bagel shop here, we have New York Bagels here. Downtown Bagels, right there in the same plaza where Classy Cuts is and ShopRite and Brother Bruno's. There's the Downtown Bagels, even though they're not downtown. And they open up at 5 a.m. and you can get yourself some hot bagels. And I'm talking about real water bagels. Just watch Pastor Bob's message called Glory to Our Father from June 18, 2023. It was awesome. Shannon Louder's here. You have a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old? See, we think everyone here is past that stage, but it's not true. And then Asher was born on November 12th. My goodness, Shannon, you have been busy. Dear, dear. The stork brought all those babies to you? That is one busy stork. I'd always be worried that the stork would drop the baby, That would be more rocking than Rocky. Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea. Unless it's going to be, he'll be a manager, right? He'll be the fight manager. That's what it'll probably be. It would have to be, wouldn't it? Good night, everybody. Well, good night, Shelley, if you're really leaving. Sammy is not gone. He's got eyes on us. Looks like a cupcake with eyes. Jack, it's true that Elvis Presley used the name Bob Joyce. Is it true sometime in the 60s? You're probably talking about that poster, right? We did a video on that. Didn't have a really good picture of it. But there was a time, it is thought, in the 60s when he signed a poster Bob Joyce. Zero confirmation on that. Zero confirmation. In fact, where he is shown in a car signing something, It's not that poster. It's not that poster of Elvis. So I don't know. I don't know the answer for that. That's one thing that we did mention. Never came to any conclusions. Oh, yes. Cindy's first grandson was born November 9th. We have wished her congratulations. That's wonderful. So there we are. We're up to 81 watching. If you haven't checked in, please do. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell, because sometimes we pop on and pop off, which we'll be doing on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But this Saturday, which is the 21st, we'll be doing our regular 10 p.m. worldwide ramblings for that. Isn't it amazing? I mean, we've been on for an hour and 32 minutes already. I mean, that's the length of the average movie. And it doesn't feel like that when I'm with you guys. It doesn't feel like that. This is kind of a layback thing, but I did want to get to some comments that people have made that don't show up here. Just let me do one more email check. And there you go. June Joyner. Didn't even know you were here, June Joyner. Didn't know you had joined, June Joyner. She sent $20 on the Cash App for a Merry Christmas. Thank you, June. That is so much appreciated. You have no idea, as it is with Nancy and Todd Bradshaw, that gives me, some assurance that things will be all right. And the Lord has already told me that things will be all right, and has already extended to me amazing grace. How sweet the sound that would save a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. So I should start acting like that more, Was blind, but now I see. Thank you so much. By the way, let me know in the little message section, which I should have read first, if you don't want me mentioning the amount. Okay. So thank you. Thank you, June, because you can give a little message there, just like Todd Bradshaw did. Thank you very, very much. So let me go to our channel here and give you a little review, little channel review. Right now, I cannot see your comments. So hold, if you want to speak to me, hold that for a second. Let's go to our channel. Just like you do. There we are live. Your reaction to recent Bob Joyce videos. That's what I'm doing now. Granted, weigh in to the video. We have Pastor Bob Joyce, the Lord's Prayer. That video is doing well with 527 views that I know of. Just released.
Hey, I'm Steven.
And that's a commercial. Bertha Blackwell said that is amazing song. I love it. Jack, and may God bless you and your wife. Belinda Taylor said, sounds like an angel singing, so heartfelt. Isn't that the truth? So heartfelt. Pastor Bob Joyce's voice. God bless you, Mr. Jack. It touched my soul too. Thank you, Kitty Hewitt. Thank you. J-Cat, love your brother, Jack. Thank you, J-Cat. Right back at you. Katina, who was just with us, that was beautiful. I didn't hear it until now. See, that's the thing. I may do stuff that's been out for months, but my audience didn't hear it. Like the song, the Lisa Marie song. That was a lot of people in my audience had not heard that. So even though there's been a video out on it for a while, and people with various guesses and theories of where it comes from and what have you, many in my audience were hearing it for the first time. So that's why I do that. That's one of the reasons I do that. Katina says, that was beautiful. I didn't hear it until now. I've been trying to say the Lord's Prayer 2 times a day. Amen. Pop model videos. Model spelled with an A there, Modal videos. What a stunning version. I love it. Narelle Law said, "My eyes are leaking." That was the most beautiful version I've ever heard. Victoria Matthews, Victoria Winters, so beautiful and totally Elvis Presley. No one else could sing this um, this the certain way he does. Have a good one, Jack. Amen from Shell, who's back to being Shelly now. Judith said, no words, not meaning that there wasn't words in the songs, but no words to describe how she felt. Cindy in South Louisiana, one of my favorite songs on his albums. Dave Mitchell. Hi, Dave Mitchell. Are you watching? TCB, he's still taking care of business. Jackie Gummer, that was one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Todd Bradshaw, my buddy. Beautiful, Jack. That was a beautiful way to start my morning. I'll remember this. Thanks. That's good. Aisha, Pastor Bob Joyce, thank you so much for this song, the Lord's Prayer. I know to pray by heart. Teach from our Catholic school days. I've been graduated. I know that you probably don't wear the plaid dress anymore, Aisha. I could have figured that one out. Thank you, Jack, for playing us the song here from Pastor Bob Joyce. More Pastor Bob. Oh, here's Belinda Taylor hitting the thanks button in a pre-recorded video. Thank you, Belinda Taylor. Let me like that and right away thank her for doing that. Miss Belinda. Anytime you try to do something fast, you just mess it up. That's how it is for me. You know? And I'll pin that so it goes up to the front. That's what we do as programmers. Chi-Chi, 634. He gives me that time check. Good evening. And Priscilla, 248. That's beautiful. You should record that. You should record that to the one who's singing. Well, I'm sure Miss Walina probably knows I did this, or someone at Household of Faith will tell her that I obeyed what she wanted. Not that she wanted me to do it, but that we are promoting the Lord's Prayer, praying it twice a day, and listening to Pastor Bob Joyce's version of the Lord's Prayer and sharing it. That was the wishes of Miss Walina. Let me go back to the live stream here. That's right. Pray it twice a day and sing along with Pastor Bob as well. Now, Jody Smith is winking. There's a lot of people winking today. Jack, when did you put up your video with Pastor Bob singing the Lord's Prayer? I think it was like 2 o'clock this morning. Maybe later than that. Yeah, that's why, I get up late and I haven't broken that habit yet. I want to break it as soon as possible. I want to enjoy some spring mornings when they finally come along. Jack, I had a dream. Here comes the dream from Jody Smith. Jody's dream is brought to you by Cracker Barrel. Come and enjoy our jams and jellies in the store. Then enter the restaurant and have a delicious home-style meal. And then don't leave. Go out to our rocking chairs and sit a spell. Cracker Barrel brings you Jody Smith's latest dream. Jack had a dream that Trump will live to see the full 4 years of the presidency from your lips to God's ears, Jody, but that he will also take office for a third term. Now you're causing trouble as a president out of an overwhelming need for stability to this country. Well, he'll be in his 80s then, won't he? He'll be, how old will he be? Trying to remember. Um, and JD Vance is very capable. And there are other people that would like the job too that'll do a fine job. Ron DeSantis, but I have to say that the vice president will have the he'll have the biggest advantage simply by JD Vance being in the office of the vice president. So it's a good thing too because people know that if they got rid of Trump, I hate to even mention something diabolical like that JD Vance would be there, So you would accomplish nothing, really. You would accomplish nothing. The agenda would continue. Thank you, Belinda. Thanks again for hitting the Cash App. I appreciate that. Here's somebody new. You guys come up with some really wild names. Infirm, can you tell us what type of equipment you use to your stream? I'm streaming live via the YouTube system for going live. Pre-recorded videos, I use the OBS system and then transfer over to YouTube. I'm speaking into a Rode microphone from Australia. Very affordable. Both the mic and the stand were just over $200, which is amazing. I have two computers. One is very old, which I don't do much with. And I have two screens. One, the best screen, which is straight ahead of me, was given to me as a gift. And then I recently bought a new Philips screen because I need two screens sometimes when I'm using Spotify or loading videos, what have you. Laura Shadley is hugging people. That's always nice. And thank you so much to Cindy in South Louisiana, visiting her family with her new grandchild, hitting the thanks button for $19.99. Thank you so much, Cindy, one of our regular family members here. I can see that's a Christmas gift because I can see a twee and I can see a present. So that is a very nice present. And there's beautiful Cindy right there in the frame. So $19.99 on the thanks button helps so much. Any amount helps, for that monthly figure I'm trying to reach, and I'm below it. I'm way below it at this point, but I have been surprised before, and I suspect I'll be surprised again. The Lord is good, and He uses His people, and we try to present positive things about the household of faith and what have you. But my audience loves when we delve into the various aspects of this incredible story, the greatest entertainment story of all times, not told by the mainstream media, even if it turns out not to be true. There's still got to be some kind of link because, as we like to say, there's so much smoke in this fire that, we better put on a mask. We better put on a mask. Love your podcast. Well, I don't really do technically a podcast, but I know everybody's got one, right? And there can only be so many Joe Rogans and Megyn Kellys and Candace Owens and what's his name there? Well, of course, Tucker Carlson, but Tucker has the TCN network. Just go to tuckercarlson.com and you can sign up for that. and he's going to be doing a lot more in 2025. He will be totally free to go anywhere he wants, so I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him on Newsmax, one of his shows on Newsmax. The idea of having him on a broadcast channel every night at 8 o'clock, I know a lot of people miss that. They miss that open monologue. He does one from time to time, but it's not the same as, oh, it's 8 o'clock, and you grab your clicker, grab your fire stick, and it's time for Tucker. There's nothing like that. So I hope he does that again. I would assume on Newsmax that would be, they'd love to have him. Can they afford him? Not the way Fox could, but he can, he can just have it as one more way to see him and do a regular steady show. But he likes the freedom of being able to move around and do different things. So I don't know. You make it great chatting with lots of friends. Also look forward to ending prayers. Well, that's a good point that you mentioned ending prayers, because I don't always do ending prayers, but I do ending scriptures when I do worldwide ramblings. Not so much during a pop on, a pop off, but worldwide ramblings. And that's what this is. Aisha is saying, I'm not sure what, but it's in big letters. I haven't been visiting my family. Didn't you say that you were out of your house in another location and that was your family? No. Where are you, Cindy? Are you in the witness protection program now? But thank you so much for that, Cindy. I appreciate it. Teresa Lee Leonard, that's BG Girl. Hello, Jack. Hi, Teresa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bill Presley, going to have to get my phone is dying. I'll finish watching the replay. Well, thank you, Bill. I appreciate you doing that. Now, Michael, I haven't really I've seen your name, and I'm sorry. Good day, Jack. Rode Microphones is a big company, right? And they have a lot of nice stuff. Here, they made it here in Australia. I'm a tool and die maker, my friend. Worked there, really. Very, very cool. Yeah, I have their catalogs, and someday I'll be buying more from them. Some programmers put up a wish list of programming stuff that they might need. Like a bride will put up a wish list of a future bride, because now at weddings they don't want gifts that they don't want to end up with 5 blenders. And of course a lot of the brides want money. Your love gives me such a thrill, but your love won't pay my bills. I need money. It comes in kind of handy down here. That's what Jimmy Stewart's character said to the angel Clarence, right, Todd Bridges? You got any money? No? It comes in quite handy down here. Hey, if you're still watching, Todd, what drink did Clarence order at this hard liquor bar? What drink did he order at the bar when he went in there with George, which is being played by Jimmy Stewart? What drink did he order? Didn't go over as a popular request, I'll say that much. Sure, with Pastor Bob's church, says Rill. Was 5 hours closer, and then we would become part of the church. Was 5 hours closer. Best pastor preacher we have ever listened to. We have been so blessed. Susan Safiati loves his sermons. I went to visit my son for a week in Alabama in November. I went to visit my daughter by Fort Johnson. That's what I remember, I think. In Leesville. That's the one I remember, for a week at the beginning of the month, but came home a week and a half ago. Okay. Aisha wants to know, since she's from Australia, where are you from? I'm from Melbourne. Yeah. Susan wants some whiskey? No, that is not the correct answer, Susan Safiati. Michael Tusa is in Sydney, all places I've heard of. Isn't there like a Middletown, Australia, or Goshen, Australia, or a Monroe, Australia? There's all places that I remember, big places. I don't even know how big Australia is. Woodsley Summercraft is here. What's new, Pussycat? Whoa, whoa. What's new, Pussycat? Whoa. You got it, Todd Bradshaw. Can't fool you. The flaming rum punch, but settled for a mulled wine, and then he got thrown out of the bar. Him and Jimmy Stewart. I guess they were a little more gentle with Clarence since he was elderly. But Jimmy Stewart got thrown down into the road, the snowy road. Yes, I always remember that, a flaming rum punch. What does he think this is? What's he going to ask for dessert? Baked Alaska? That was cool. That was cool. Heavy on the cinnamon and light on the cloves. You even remember that. It's coming back to me. Not a Christmas movie. Wasn't intended to be a Christmas movie. Not a big hit. Not a big hit when it first came out. Uh, since it ended with a Christmas scene, though, it was labeled a Christmas movie. Um, wasn't overwhelmingly received until later. It became this phenomenon where every Christmas, um, one of the networks, CBS, right, would air it. And then there became a colorized version of it. And every year, I don't know if they did it this year, the Paramount Theater, after the tree lighting, they run It's a Wonderful Life, the non-color version. They run it at the Paramount Theater, and it's free to anyone who wants to show up. I talked about eggnog earlier, Jody Smith. I got to get that Turkey Hill eggnog. But people put rum and stuff like that in it. No, no, no. I want my rum in the pina colada. I don't want it in my eggnog. Turkey Hill eggnog, one of my weaknesses this time of year. I forgot to get some today, so that was good. I forgot to get some. Um, my goodness, it's almost midnight. Todd Bradshaw, hi Laura, always good to see you. Thanksgiving time too, Susan Safiati. Now, Shelley lives in Canada. They celebrate Thanksgiving at a whole different time. Noah is here. How are you, Noah? Welcome back. I assume you're the same Noah. Glad you're here. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yes. Funny movies. Of course, I think it was in the Christmas movie. They used God's name in vain. Could have done without that. Um, Obviously, Vegas Vacation is my favorite. That's just unbeatable. Jack's a lumberjack. Hey, you don't know how inefficient I am in manual labor and tasks like you're talking about. Yeah, I get it with the shirt though, right? Everybody, you can't go out this time of year without seeing someone that has a shirt. This is really one of those jacket shirts. You can't go out there without seeing people wearing them, or the white and black one. And I have both. The white and black one is thinner. I don't know what I'm going to wear Saturday night, folks. I'm definitely not going to cover up I'll have the door open. I'll speak low because I cannot not have heat on Saturday night if it's 7 or 8 degrees. Oi, I want to be in Port St. Lucie. Have they rebuilt Port St. Lucie yet? Because a lot of it was damaged, a lot of homes destroyed. I wonder how my polka hall down there, the Jimmy Steer, will appear at the first Saturday in March. Go to the polka show. I've been there twice to see Jimmy, but I don't know about this year. I don't know. The budget is too tight. Have you heard anything more from Elvis and Pop? Joyce says Noah. I like how you put that. Have I heard anything more? So you want your Bob Joyce fix. We're just doing a general chat, see our recent videos. You got to watch the videos talking about the letter from Miss Walina and what have you. I have no big breaking news to give you, and to be honest, if I did, I'd do it in a pre-recorded video because Mama didn't Mama didn't raise no dummy. Remember Red Fox used to call everybody dummy, especially his son, I think. Um, Lamont. Yeah. So if you got something big, you don't just casually mention it. you know, Look at my most recent videos talking about Sigrid Schultz. That's a big controversy right now, I suppose. Not really. Um, her name is not Schultz, it's Schutz. Sigrid Schutz, and she's definitely the tall girl that you think is Willina Joyce. And no verification of that, of course, no proof of that, but they love saying that, and whatever, they're being ignored. So you can't base your channel on just knocking a host and knocking the audience that follows them. That's not the path to your success that you so desperately seek. And at some point, it becomes you've stepped over the line of YouTube guidelines, and a report can be filed. I'm not telling lies. I'm speaking about possibilities. And if some person gives me definitive proof, then that's fine. If I can verify that, then I'll correct it. But I don't say definitively that Miss Willina was ever the German girlfriend of Elvis Presley. There are a ton of people that think so. That's who she looks like. And Sigrid Schutz or Sigrid Schultz, whichever it turns out to be. And then you see the older version of Sigrid. She looks like the shorter girl in the picture because both women, both young girls, fairly young girls, were in the same picture together. So they both could say they had a relationship with Elvis and that they knew him. Who knows what he does behind closed or did behind closed doors? I don't know. So we'll see what unfolds. The big thing now, Noah, we're wondering about is, will Pastor Bob Joyce go to the inauguration? He can just say Gene Ho got him in, just like he can say Gene Ho got him into Mar-a-Lago, et cetera, et cetera. Who knows? Yeah, it's all publicity. But if the person doesn't have that many subscribers, it ain't gonna help me too much. But it just depends. I don't demean people on the air, and I would hope others wouldn't either. I don't like to see my viewers demeaned either. Nancy DeMarco, Gene Ho even said Willina was Elvis's old girlfriend. Well, maybe you heard something I didn't hear, Nancy, and send that clip to me if you did, because the way I heard him say it was, he was they in an interview? It wasn't with me. I interviewed Gene Ho. The video is up. It's got 15,000 views. Check it out right here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusion. You'll be able to find that pretty quick, the Gene Ho interview. And on the website, I don't know if he has any more, he interviewed me, all using his technology. So it made it real easy for me. I know, Aisha. 2 hours. They go by quick, don't you? Don't they? They do. They do. So we'll see, Noah. They got to get that church built. They got to get that horse stable finished. They have this tremendous space problem. And the idea of it not opening to the summer of 2025, that's unacceptable and not necessary. I just feel in my bones it's not necessary. He met people at Mar-a-Lago that could give a gift, and it would be like, Keith Richards giving someone $5,000 to buy a nice guitar. He wouldn't miss the money, So I don't know what's going on with that, but that could have been ready for Christmas easily with a crew working full time, and I'm not sure why it's not. I don't quite get it. Coffee and tea with Susan. That sounds like a podcast. Welcome, 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 Susan. Where are you from? I'm assuming you are different than the other Susans we have here. We have 3 or 4 of them. Um, yes, Noah wants to know Susan who. Don't have to give us your last name, but where you're from. Went out for breakfast this morning, dropped my French toast and bacon on the floor. That's a bummer. Spilled my iced tea all over the table, but they gave me a free, fresh breakfast because I'm a regular. Right. Well, they should, because we're all human beings and those things happen. I've dropped things before. Um, I try to be careful, but more likely to drop something in the house. That's more likely to happen. And then Karen is quick to get um, the paper towels and hand them to me. That's fair, I suppose. They look like snuggly bunnies in the Germany pictures. You're right about that, Susan. So how many think that the tall girl who really looks like Walina is Walina? And then you got these rebuttals where they use like an AI announcer, and some of it I'm the inspiration for because they're criticizing things I they feel I have said in error, like it's Sigrid Schutz, not Sigrid Schultz, which is the famous American reporter that reported on Germany and supposedly did meet Elvis, but she was an old woman by the time she met Elvis Presley in 62, born in 1895, I think, but very famous and supposedly took pictures with Elvis. So they're saying I mispronounced Sigrid, and then they call Walina, this AI voice, Walina. So, you're not doing much for your cause there, buddy. You're not doing much for your cause. Rhode Island here. That's right. Newport or somewhere else. Um, Karen would like to go back to Newport because we of course did see the Dark Shadows Mansion. What the heck is the name of that? Here I go again, not thinking of the real name of that house. I know it. But also there's all these other homes, and several of them offer tours. And I try to explain to Karen, though, they're beautiful homes, but I'm not a window shopper. If there's no chance of me buying the house that I'm oohing and ahhing at, then what's the point? I'm not a window shopper. Don't take me to the Audi dealer. My dream car is to have a full size Audi, either black or tan with a nice leather, of course, interior. The one that I saw Amanda Seyfried driving, I believe, on 17 West. I have a video up on Amanda Seyfried, but I'm not reaching her fan base of millions, so it's not getting many views. But imagine driving down 17 West or up 17 West because we're about to climb Wurtsboro Mountain. Karen and I are going up to Monticello to go to the buffet that we love so much. There's 2 buffets that we love, and one is in Monticello. And then we'll go over to Walmart, see what they got, and that's always dangerous for my pocketbook. When will I learn? And this is not the kind of year I can get what we call YouTube shirts, which are the short Hawaiian types, the short sleeve Hawaiian shirts. Noah was raised on the 5th floor of someplace. The mansions were right there in Newport, right by the ocean. Um, and then we actually did something stupid. We actually climbed on some rocks to get to the part of the overlook that we wanted to see. Dumb thing. I'm trying to look that I don't fall and that Karen doesn't fall. We should have walked around and entered a different way instead of the entrance by the Seaview Terrace. Oh, I finally got it. Seaview Terrace, which was called Collingwood, the exterior only. They never shot inside. They used Lyndhurst Mansion for the House of Dark Shadows movie inside. We go there every year. So, yeah. Um, but we did a walk around the neighborhood, no police presence per se. Some of the gates were open to these, mansions that would have been 5, 10, 15, $20 million. Um, Very mellow. The dark shadows, the sea view terrace was open with all kinds of warning signs that it's private property and not to come in here and what have you, because the Dark Shadows fans talking about the original series, 1966 to 71, there must be 15 Dark Shadows groups. The series is still popular with a huge fan base because of Barnabas Collins, the vampire, and great actresses like Catherine Lee Scott, who played Josette Dupre, Maggie Evans, and more, and Nancy Barrett, who played Carolyn Stoddard. We've really begun the fourth watch of the 1100. It's not really 1145 episodes because sometimes they say, okay, this is episode 662 and 663. Well, how is that? It's the same 22-minute show. I don't know what that's about, but we love that show. And we're now in the very beginning. I think we just watched episode 10 of Dark Shadows. This is way before Barnabas the vampire comes in episode 210. If you're going to watch Dark Shadows, don't start with the beginning episodes. You won't appreciate them. Start with 210, which is the introduction of the vampire Barnabas by Jonathan Frid, which took a show that was that close to being canceled and turned it into millions and millions and millions of viewers. Kids running home from school as fast as they could to see the 4 o'clock show. And then, of course, reruns came along. And Dark Shadows conventions, etc., much bigger than what Johnny Depp ever did with it. I blog, therefore I am. Rhode Island. Yeah, huh? Well, it's very nice, but I have to say it was expensive. But if you wait till September, you can find this cheap motor inn, which is right outside of downtown, where they have their Walmart, not too far from that Walmart in Newport, Rhode Island. You go up the hill and you'll find this cheap motel that is like the rate's cut like 70% come September. So we got a really nice rate. I heard that Barnabas was buried in Newport, Rhode Island. It doesn't sound right to me because he was Canadian, He was Canadian. And I think he would have been buried in Canada. He retired in Canada. He died in Canada. And so that's how I remember it. But you could be right. Used to come on 4 p.m. channel, ABC channel 7 in New York, or another ABC affiliate. Jack, I had some people that like to drink eggnog warm. Oh, yucky, yucky, yucky. No, no, no. I like my eggnog nice and cold. Put some nutmeg in there to enhance it. I blog in Warren Rhode Island now. So send me a sample of your blog or more information on it at Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Takes me a little while sometimes because I don't respond so much in the day. I usually respond here when I come up to the studio / bedroom at, at midnight or whatever. So that's when I do the most of it. Huh. Bellevue Avenue. You even have the avenue, huh? D. Coleman. Hi, Jack. So good to finally see you. Well, hi, D. Coleman. Yes, I saw your email. Believe. Yeah. Yeah, right. I got it because you use a different name in the email. Right. Welcome. I lived in Newport as a child, says I blog, therefore I am. Michael says, you sound great, Jack. I love your show, just trying to get my wife on board as well. Well, it may not be her cup of tea, It may not be her cup of tea. I understand that. 4:06 in the afternoon in Australia, says Aisha Acevedo. Yeah, the 20th already. Christmas getting close, gang. Went out for breakfast. Oh, yeah, we heard about that one. You were Butterfingers, huh? It can happen to anyone. I had homemade eggnog once. Yeah, we used to make it homemade, but I can't equal the taste of Turkey Hill, for example. And it was hot when we drank it. I did not like it. No, hot means cider with that special stuff you can buy, yeah, the spices for the cider. That's the way you want it. We get that down at Soon's Orchard. They sell both the spices and, of course, the fresh squeezed cider. They'll run out at some point. They'll have some frozen cider too, because cider doesn't last forever. So you got to start freezing it, and then at some point they just run out. They run out, but they close for a part of the winter. Klaus von Bülow and his wife. What about that? Funny that you mentioned Klaus von Bülow because it makes me think of one of the big stars of Dark Shadows, Noah. Huh? Alexandra Molka Isles, who played Victoria Winters. Where's my book? I have pictures of Alexandra on my wall, but they're way back there in my Dark Shadows section. Victoria Winters, Alexandra Molka. I got that off of Etsy. Marilyn Ross wrote several books, not on storylines that were in the show, but they were popular nonetheless. And this is kind of a rare version of her storyline. And Alexandra had an affair with Klaus von Bülow while his wife was in a coma. And even when it looked like, well, she testified, Alexandra had to testify at his trials. There were two trials. One was a hung jury, then they came back again. And in the second one, I think he was found innocent. But she was grilled by the prosecution. And there was some tape on it here on YouTube. And she said to the prosecutor, well, have you ever been in love? I doubt it. I remember that. So that was a big controversy. It made her more camera shy about doing any interviews and what have you after that. If she would show up in one of the Dark Shadows group, they would mention Klaus van Bülow. She was gorgeous, and I don't know. She could have been so much better than that. I actually have her wedding picture over there with her husband, Mr. Isles, who she had a son with, and she looks beautiful in that. Maybe someday I'll show you that. But she had a thing going with Klaus for quite a while there, and she had her own money because she came from a rich family who set her up in New York when she came in the mid '60s. They set her up with a nice apartment because she wanted to try her hand at acting then. And she showed up to audition for Dark Shadows, and she's got this is it Swedish beauty with a high cheekbone, very beautiful. And they asked her back for a second time, and as she was auditioning this time, the legendary Joan Bennett, who would become the star of Dark Shadows, it was a comeback project for her because she had been kind of banned from movies for 10 years, something that happened with her manager in the back of a car. And back in those days, it was frowned on, and it was her husband that found them. But 66 represented the comeback to Joan Bennett, who had really started in the talkie movies, the silent movies, and then went on to a number of films, which you can see on Tubi and other places. Anyway, she walked into the interview to the second audition with Alexandra Molka and stood in the back watching. And she said to the director, my God, she looks like my real daughter. I thought it was when I first came in. I thought you were interviewing my daughter. And although it was never brought out on Dark Shadows, big mistake. Victoria Winters, the whole reason she came to work at Collinwood was that she was the daughter of the character Joan Bennett played, Elizabeth Collins Stoddard. But she had her out of wedlock, supposedly, and she felt she couldn't take care of her, and she dropped her off at an orphanage with a note that said, her name is Victoria. I cannot take care of her. And then when she was 2 years old, um, little Victoria started getting mail that was never signed with $50 each month. $50, which was a lot of money back then. $50 each month for her. And then she comes to Collinwood. You just made me think of all that by mentioning Klaus von Bülow. Sorry, Noah. Probably more information than you cared to hear. Jack, there is a murder song, Tom Dooley. What do you think Delilah is, Aisha? The guy. I felt the knife in my hand, and she laughed no more. Why, Delilah? My Delilah. So before they come to break down the door, there is another rhyme they could have used, would have been inappropriate though. So before they come to break down the door, or before they come to find a dead well, we can't say that. Forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take any more. Forgive me, Delilah. I just could. I can't sing that note. Tom Jones can, Greg Hines. Jonathan Fred Barnabas died in Hamilton, Ontario. That's right. That's where he lived, you know. He retired from show business, but once he was there, he did a few plays, you know. He did that one about the priest and the protege. Can't think of it right now. Location of ashes are not publicly known. Right. Yeah, he was a Canadian guy. Klaus von Bülow and his wife Sunny, who he induced into a coma, basically, right? And so the judge, not the judge, but the prosecution asked Alexandra Mocha, his lover from Dark Shadows, said, "Did you, when you found that this was a strong possibility, did you then break up with Mr. von Bülow?" And she says, "To my shame, I did not." I remember that. I know about Tom Dooley, Aisha Acevedo. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. You got me thinking Billy Jack now. I don't remember any of the words right now to Tom Dooley, but I certainly did. I ever play that song on the radio? I don't think so, but I certainly heard it on the radio when I was young. Yesterday, when I was young. How does it go? Roy Clark, great song. The time has come to pay for yesterday when I was young. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I know Tom Dooley. I don't know too much about him in real life, but sure. Sure, it was a big hit record. Who was that? The Kingston Trio? Was that the Kingston Trio, Bob? I mean, Noah. Yeah, Collinsport, Maine. The fictitious town of Collinsport, Maine. Yes. As Dan Curtis said, things were different in Collinsport. The Vietnam War was going on, for goodness sakes, but in Collinsport, we didn't know about it. We didn't even have TVs in the room. No, but you could smoke. Now, Alexandra never smoked, and Catherine Lee Scott never smoked. Barnabas smoked, but never as Barnabas, never on camera. A lot of the actors smoked on camera. We're watching the early episodes now, and they're just lighting up those cigarettes, especially the guy, Mitch Ryan, who plays Burke Devlin. Yeah. He played Burke for a good many episodes, but he had a drinking problem. It caught up to him. And then they got Burke Devlin, too, at that point, who would go on to play Jeremiah Collins when they went back to 1970, when they went back to 1795. I'm trying to think of the actor's name. I know it like I know my own, Cindy, but I know this is probably TMI. Let me just go back to email real quick. So thank you, June Joyner, for hitting the Cash App for $20. Thank you, Nancy DeMarco, for hitting Cash App, and my buddy Todd Bradshaw. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so much appreciated. And in the past, we've had others that have hit it. Hi, Chris Daly. Just going down the way here. Yeah. Certainly, Jody Smith on so many occasions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me go back to our channel here. See what else is cooking. Miss Willina releases the Bob Joyce Church Christmas update. 1,700 plus views, not too shabby. The new song from Elvis, his pledge to Lisa Marie, is about to hit 7,000 views. Thank you very much on that. That's a shared monetization. In other words, I have to share it with the person who wrote that song. I could tell you who the company was, but that's kind of confidential information that allowed me to use the song. I don't want to violate that because I might want to use one of their other songs of what could be Bob Joyce. Could be Bob Joyce. Pastor Bob Joyce singing the Lord's Prayer is up. Please check that out. It's got over 550 views now. And UFOs in the Hudson Valley. That also promos last Saturday's live show. Not a big hit, but, what can I tell you? Curious Case of Bob Joyce, Willina, and Sigrid Schultz, or is it Schutz? That's got over 2,100 views. There's those vertical shorts. Eddie B.A. guy with Jimmy Sturr and Wilkes-Barre. That's a nice short video. 657 views. Me and Greenwood Lake, standing in front of Greenwood Lake. 938 views. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, hit videos, and I'm not even talking about all the live shows. Some of them have done very well as well. In a NASCAR-style race with A-list movie star Amanda Seyfried, 176 views. The experience of meeting Bob Joyce at his church, 3,700 plus views. So watch these. My Homage to Rush series. The biggest one I have is Bringing America Back. Maddow's Madness. That's, of course, talking about Rachel Maddow. The Homage to Rush series. I use his original theme song from The Pretenders, which means I can't monetize the video, but nevertheless, I felt I just needed to use it since they approved it under that condition. Explosive new Bob Joyce Elvis info, the top 50 part 3. I promise you before New Year's Eve, we'll have the final top 20 up. That's almost at 8,000 views. And there's so much more, about 127,000 views for The Verdict, my most popular video. Bombshell, Lisa Marie, Abused and Tormented. That's almost 3,000 views. We talk about her new book and what they say in there, written by Lisa Marie Presley, really from tapes that she did, taped interviews, and Riley Keough, her daughter, who put it all together. Well, we're at 2.5 hours, gang. I'll do analytics really quick for you. Can I do that here? No, I can't do it on this channel. I can only do it on the live stream. So I have to pre-record analytics for you. So there you go. Check that one more time. Good. And can't believe we've been on 2.5 hours. Thank you, Rill, and thank you, Aisha and Cindy and Todd Bradshaw and Noah, and earlier the Grand Patriarch Richard Lyon. I blog, therefore I am. Jody Smith, thank you so much, Jody. Always appreciate you. We'll be on Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Michael Tuza, thank you for your compliments. Coffee and Tea with Susan. Christmas card and great sounds like a winner. I don't give my personal physical address out, but you can certainly email me at jackthefairguy@gmail.com. jackthefairguy@gmail.com. People send e-cards if they want to. That's very nice. Other than that, for tips, because it's just a virtual tip jar, it's either hitting the thanks button here or hitting the Cash App, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. Thank you, Cindy in South Louisiana, yeah, Nancy DeMarco, Woodsley Summercraft, Rob, yeah, and Laura Shadley. A lot of our regular family members here. Bill Presley. Thank you, Cindy, for hitting the thanks button for 1999. Thank you so much. Glad you're home safe and sound. Remember, Jody Smith's Dreams are brought to you by Cracker Barrel. Don't forget to rock in those recliners. I always enjoy it when I go there. It's been quite a while, though. Sammy, Jeanette Berglund, thank you for being here. Neo, Shannon Louder, who's got a lot of kids. She is one busy woman. And Chi, of course, Ruthie. Yeah. Belinda Taylor, Jerry Bridges, not Lloyd Bridges, not Bo Bridges, not Todd Bridges. June Joyner, thanks again. And there were people that hit the thanks button before that, but can't go back that far right now. So let's take a look at God's holy word here as we close out Worldwide Ramblings for Thursday. Back Saturday, we'll be popping on to pop on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day as well. I'm going to be right here, so I'd love to talk with you. If you've got nobody coming over, I'll try to keep you company a little bit. It won't be for 2.5 hour periods, but I'll still come on. Second chapter of Ephesians in the New King James Version. Starting with verse 2, chapter 2, verse 13. But now in Christ Jesus, you once were far away. You have been brought near by the blood of Christ. In other words, not your works, not my works. For he himself is our peace, who has made both one and has broken down the middle wall of separation, having abolished it in his flesh, the enmity, that is the law of the commandments contained in ordinances, so as to create in himself one new man for the two, thus making peace, and that he might reconcile them both to God in one body through the cross, thereby putting to death the enmity. And he came and preached peace to you who were afar off and to those who were near. For through him we have access to one Spirit, to the Father. Now therefore you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God, having been built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. Yes, amen. Father, just thank you for everybody that gathered here today. those that claim the name of Jesus, that have opened their hearts to you. We pray a special blessing on them, Lord. Hedge of protection around their lives and the lives of those they love. Anyone that does not yet know you, that has not confessed you as Lord and Savior, um, I ask that the Holy Spirit would touch their hearts in a special way. As you say, if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Saved from an eternity of separation from God, whatever that may be. Because you, as you told the prophet Nicodemus, you must be born again, born of God's Spirit, or you cannot see or enter heaven. It's the Holy Spirit that gives us the witness and gives us the words to open our heart to you. So I pray for each one. Pray for those that are sick. Pray for family members that are sick, Lord. We know you have your eye on each one. Your will be done. You heal in your own time. So I praise you. Thank you for saving a wretch like me, not worthy to even be breathing, but your grace is truly amazing, and I truly thank you for it. Bless each one here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. '67 watching right now. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That would be swell. That would be swell. So we could pop on before Saturday night, but for sure, God willing, we make our plans and God just smiles. God willing, unless there's something unforeseen, I'll see you Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time for the next edition of Worldwide Ramblings. When you have the notification bell on, if I put up a pre-recorded video, you will know that I did. All right. We won't make that 5,000 subscribers, I don't think. I mean, 10,000 subscribers by Christmas Day, but at least we're at 9,500, 9,500 and counting. Share what you can. The live shows are too long to share, but share the pre-recorded videos, including the Lord's Prayer. Pastor Bob Joyce sing the Lord's Prayer if you can. Put that on your Facebook and anywhere else you can share it. Have a wonderful Friday, everybody. Cold weather coming here to the East Coast. What do you expect? It's December, right? Bye-bye for now. Once again, trying to end the live stream is always a challenge. So I just kind of have to pull it down without erasing it. Bye-bye.